Praise the Lord and welcome to our weekly 30-minute podcast, The Elephant in the Room with Bishop Michael Bellamy. Our podcast will cover various topics that are often overlooked, misunderstood, or even controversial from a biblical perspective. We're blessed to have a team of wonderful producers who want to make each episode something that will be enjoyable and informative. In today's episode, I will host a roundtable with a few single brothers to discuss their views on marriage and how to build strong, lasting relationships. Today's podcast was produced by Elder Maurice Clanton Sr. It was edited by Lady Satoya Clanton and Brother Howard Harris. I'll be right back with today's episode. My guests today are Tyrone Neal and Mike Wallace. Welcome to the Elephant in the Room, Tyrone and Mike.
Hey, praise the Lord, everybody.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Glad to have you, brethren, with us on today. We're talking about something that a lot of single, eligible women out there are looking for. They're looking for marriage. They're expecting marriage. Some of them are waiting on marriage. That's what we're going to talk about. Let them know what eligible young men like yourselves views are on marriage, what you expect in a marriage, what you expect in a wife. So for opening, tell me a little bit, Mike, what is your perspective on marriage? And what are your expectations in a marriage?
Yeah, so for me, when I look at marriage, I consider marriage a beautiful thing, first and foremost. Very beautiful thing to see. But I see marriage as union. I see it as teamwork. I see it as building and growing together as an opportunity to build the life that you've always wanted with that spouse. So things that I expect in a marriage is, again, teamwork, working together to build or change the structure in our lifestyle, continual growth. I believe in working together to see our dreams come to pass. That's something that I firmly believe in. Working through conflict, adjusting, and creating new experiences that we've never had in our lives. For example, traveling the world, seeing different things, being together through sickness and in health.
So you mentioned the word conflict, and I just had a couple interviews with couples that have been married for like 25 and 30 years, and that word conflict came up in our conversations. For marriage, looking toward marriage, conflict is inevitable. What is your take on conflict? Do you avoid conflict, or do you, as one husband said, I just rip the Band-Aid off and I go right in? How would you handle conflict?
I guess for me, like being in business, I've learned that the more you avoid it, the worse it gets. So I'm learning to, as the podcast is titled, address the elephant in the room and work together to find a solution rather than just let it be. And, tension rises, anger begins to rise, and thoughts and all that. So I'm like, okay, let's attack it. Let's see what the matter is and how can we fix it.
So you're not afraid of conflict.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. All right, Tyrone. What are your perspectives, or what is your perspective on marriage, and what are your expectations?
Yeah, that's a great question. I believe Mike covered it all. My perspective on marriage is just to build with someone, building that life that you've always dreamed of, but with someone. So that also means sacrificing some of yourself so that you can build that life together, and just not making it all about you and just making it more about the team. And just some of my expectations as far as marriage will be just build a foundation of trust and respect. I believe those are the two most important things, as well as being peacemakers with each other. Just like conflict will always arise, like you said. But I believe that both of you need to be peacemakers and realize that it's more about the team and not just your feelings all the time.
I find it interesting that both of you gentlemen use the word team. You see marriage between man and woman as like a team working together to achieve a common goal. Do you believe that there are roles, roles, roles in marriage, that the man, husband, has a role, the woman / wife has a role in marriage, and maybe those roles should not cross boundaries or lines? What's your perspective on there? Let me also say this, Tyrone and Mike. We have a different generation of women today who really don't believe in roles. You know, if he can do it, I can do it better. You know, or I can do it just as well as he can. A lot of the young ladies that I have talked to over the last 25 years that I've been pastoring, especially the current generation, really does not believe in roles. Do you think there are, Tyrone, do you believe that there are roles in marriage?
That's interesting. I do believe that there are roles in marriage. I believe that it's the man's job to lead, and it's the woman's job to help that man lead or help that man build the life that they want. And I believe those are the roles of husband and wife, for one to lead and one to follow the lead and help build. And I know that's very controversial in today's society because everyone loves a strong woman. But we need more, I believe, submissive women. And then you would see, in my opinion, the divorce rates go down and more happy homes.
I think we just lost half of our audience when you said submissive women.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Our ratings just went down.
You're not going to invite me back after that.
But you're right on that. You're right. You're right about it. Mike, what is your perspective? Do you believe that there are roles in marriage?
I agree with what Tyrone was saying. I definitely agree that there are roles. Now, oftentimes, like, people get confused responsibilities and roles. Like, they get them confused. Like, for example, cooking. If I could cook already being by myself, that doesn't mean that stops now that I'm married, you know? So things like that, like, I think oftentimes our generation for sure gets the things confused when it comes down to roles, which makes it hard to really have that conversation and really talk about, like, okay, as a man, this is my job to provide. As the woman, as the mothers, you know, to nurture, to be affectionate, you know, to help, you know what I mean? So I feel like because we have not been mature enough to have those conversations, we have not seen many people in my age group, per se, pursue marriage the way that my parents did or the people before us did.
So speaking of age group, I hope you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Mike?
23.
And
Tyrone, how old are you?
I am 25. And could I add something to what Mike said?
Sure.
Mike, I love to cook. I love to throw down in the kitchen. I love to bake a cake. I mean, I don't believe that once I get married, I put all of that responsibility on my wife. I don't believe in roles as far as, oh, you know, I go out and get the paycheck and you cook. But I do believe that you should follow the man's lead. But what you said, Mike, to just add to that, I don't believe that there are roles in the kitchen and roles in cleaning and roles and things like that. I do believe you can be a team in that and making that happen in the household. So, yeah, when I get a wife, I would love to cook for her.
I'm sure she would love that. I think she would love that, too. Tyrone, do you think marriage is 50-50?
No. I believe at times one might have to put more effort in than the other at times. But no, I don't believe that it's 50-50. I believe that the man should take more responsibility, more of a actionate role in the marriage. And at times, like I said, I do believe that it would have to be someone giving a little bit more when someone is down or can't give it all.
Okay. Marie and I, before we married in 1979, we sat down with some married couples who had been together for years, interviewed them to find out, to get some insights on marriage, what's involved, what it takes to have a successful marriage. We talked to some who we were considered to be role models. Mike, are there any role models in your life, couples that have been married, you look up to them and you've said, this is the kind of marriage I would like to have?
Yeah. So I would say like my parents, I've watched them literally my whole life. A couple of my friends that are married, my mentor and his wife, just seeing the different dynamics of like each relationship. They work together. There's unity. They agree. They work on conflict, as mentioned earlier. But one thing I learned is that like through each couple, it's something different. Like, for example, my parents, they really value quality time with each other. Another couple that I really look up to, they value like exploring, traveling, and things of the nature. Another couple, they enjoy work together in the ministry. Another couple, I know they work together in their gifts and like, so it's different things I take from each marriage. And I'm like, okay, I want that. Okay, I like that right there. Let me add that to the list of things I'm looking for.
So would you say at this point, Mike, that you're ready for marriage?
Oh, Lord, my mama just asked you the same question.
Really?
Mom just asked me the same question. She said, son? The same question. Honestly, for me, I would say yes, but I would be honest and transparent that my issue is right now is the Bible says, he that findeth the wife. So with where I am in life, oftentimes people try to present people to me or put me on. I'm like, okay, God, like what happened to me finding her and really finding what I'm looking for and what I want and what I need. And I need, like, I don't want another woman who just wants to look good in the front row. Like, I don't need that. Like, I need somebody who's, well, we'll wait till that question comes up.
Okay. You don't want just another pretty face.
Yeah. No.
How about you, Tyrone? Do you have any role models in your life, couples that you consider to be successful, that you would like your marriage to be like?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to say Pastor John and my mother, I really look up to them. One reason is because they get through things and they really spend quality time with each other. They're just the great example of when I think of holiness in marriage. They come to my mind instantly. Okay. Pastor John and my mother, they set a great example for me in how to live with each other, how to work together, how to lead, how to follow. I believe they set that great example. And also my grandparents, my grandfather and my grandmother who passed away not too long ago. And one thing that I just really liked with them is I never seen them argue. I've never seen them be distant from each other in front of us. Yeah. And that's just one thing that I'm looking for in a partner, just that peacemaker, that person that will just find a way to work things out instead of going to sleep mad at each other or, going days, weeks holding grudges. Yeah. Finding that person to rip that Band-Aid off and say, hey, I chose you as a partner. You chose me as a partner. We can't sit here and ignore each other. Okay. So let's figure it out.
So no sleeping on the sofa for you, huh?
Not no. Not for Tyrone.
Look, not for my policy.
Not for Mike either.
No. Can I add to that though?
Sure you can.
I like to add to what Tyrone was saying about like the not arguing. Like it's crazy how so many times you hear people talk about like, yo, I just had a fight, or like I've had people literally say, can I come over your house for a day? I'm like, huh? What happened? But like you said, like I like what he was saying that like seeing that from the people before us, like how they worked it out. Like my parents, I've never seen them fight. I've never seen them have a disagreement in front of, it's six of us. So I've never seen it. Like, even when it came down to discipline on like, what do we discipline or do we not? Like, they never discussed that in front of us. Like, they, went their way, had the discussion. They came back and like, okay, this is our decision. Like, I like what you said. That I like that right there, Tyrone.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Hey guys, let's take a break and we'll come back and give you a moment to think about what are some of the most important things you're looking for in a spouse. We'll talk about that when we come right back, okay? This is Bishop Michael Bellamy. I hope you enjoy our podcast and subscribe to our Facebook page. You'll find our weekly 30-minute podcast on many of your favorite platforms. Would you please tell your family and friends to listen in as well? We would also love to hear from you. Feel free to connect with us on Facebook and via email at theelephant2022@gmail.com. Well, I am talking with Tyrone Neal and Mike Wallace. We're talking about what to expect when expecting marriage. These are two very intelligent, eligible, Bachelors who want to tell the ladies out there who are eligible for marriage and waiting on a man to find them what they're looking for. All right, let's go at it again. So tell me, Mike, what are some of the things that are important to you in a spouse?
Yeah, so for me, the number one thing is commitment to God. Are you committed to God? Are you saved and sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost? Are you a worshiper? Are you a praiser? Can you cover me in prayer? Mm-hmm. You know, what I have to do in ministry assignment, can you cover me in prayer? And my thing is this: if you can commit to God, then I know you can commit to me. That's the first and foremost thing. I'm looking for a woman who is aware, who knows their love language, who has goals and ambitions. They're aware of that. They're aware of their traumas and triggers, and they know how to support, and they know what type of support they need. I'm big on supporting people, so like I don't want to be supporting you and supporting you the wrong way. You mad at me because that's not what I need. You're doing too much, Mike, or you're not doing enough, Mike. Mm-hmm. So that's big to me. Someone who communicate, who could be my friend, be my best friend. I want you to be my best friend in the whole wide world. That nothing can separate us. Like, you're my best friend. I could be honest. I could be transparent. I could trust you. And I could come to you with anything and know that it'll stay there. That's the big thing for me, especially dealing with the church. Is like, at any point in time, something could slip out in the whole country and know that X, Y, Z didn't happen.
Yeah.
And a woman who wants to learn and grow, that's not satisfied with being at a certain level, that's always looking to learn. I'm a learner, and I don't want to be with someone who's complacent, because then, again, that's where there'll be confusion in the household. So those are just some things that I'm looking for.
So, Mike, how do you determine, how do you gauge an eligible young lady's level of love and commitment to God? Is this something that you have observed over a period of time? And if it's a period of time, what period of time is it? How do you gauge her level of love and commitment to the Lord?
So for me, I was always taught to be observant, to watch from a distance. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in church, I'm not going to let you know that, like, okay, I'm interested in you right away. I'll just watch. Just watch for a while. Watch how you're in service. Are you engaged? Are you paying attention? Are you praising? Like, how are you praising? How are you worshiping? Is it for show or fashion? You know, even after church, who are you hanging with after service? Mm-hmm. What are you posting on your social media? You know, with what I have access to, I can kind of get a feel for, okay, is this real or is this just for show?
Okay. Tyrone, what about you? What are some of the most important things that you're looking for in a spouse?
Like Mike said, I'm just looking for someone that's trustworthy, someone that's respectable. They respect themselves. They respect their family members. I'm a big family-oriented guy, so I'm looking for someone that is also family-oriented and loves family. I believe that strong family bonds builds a healthy person and healthy characteristics. Just someone that I can build with. And also on the spiritual side, someone that's just a prayer, someone that's strong-willed. We live in a society that's so rushed. Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking for someone who can just lose that rushed feeling and get on their knees and seek God, you know, for the things that they need. So someone that's just striving for perfection and not being complacent, not saying, hey, I'm where I need to be. I've arrived. Just for someone that is still arriving to the person they set out to be.
Several times you've used the expression strong woman. Can you define for us what a strong woman is to you?
Yeah, someone who knows what they want. Someone who is not afraid to gracefully speak up for themselves and show what they want, so that me as a man, as a provider, I can provide those things and be supportive in that avenue.
Do you, and this is off script, Tyrone, do you want a woman that works, or do you want a woman that stays at home and takes care of the children, or do you want a woman that works and you both take care of the children together? What are your expectations in that respect?
Yeah, that's a big topic today. I do believe that And nowadays, I would like a woman that works. I honestly wouldn't mind a woman that would like to stay home and raise the children. Either or, in my opinion, would be fine. I just would not like a woman that laid around, though. I would like a woman that got up and did something for herself and did something for our children and did something for others. Someone that woke up with a reason rather than, woke up complaining. So whether that is her job is taking care of our children or her job out in the world, just someone who wakes up with a passion and a desire to go out and do things.
Would you be intimidated by a woman who has a higher education or making more money than you?
We see that a lot nowadays, so I don't believe that I will be intimidated by it. Now, I do believe it's the way the woman carries herself. If she carries herself as that she's better than me or better than, others because of her education or because of this, then that would maybe turn me off from the situation.
Yeah.
But if that person was still graceful, still respectful, still, a humble person, then no, I believe that everyone should go out and get their education if they can.
How about you? Mike? Do you want to marry a professional woman who's working in her career, or would you prefer to have a wife/mother that stays at home, takes care of the house, raises the children, and that type thing? And also, would you be intimidated by a woman who is higher educated than you and making more money?
Honestly, I would have to agree with Tyrone what he was saying, that just the humility factor. For me, the degree and being career-oriented would not intimidate me. It will become a problem where if it becomes more important than the family, more important than being a team, that's where the issue will come in. Or if I see that it's causing compromising decisions, like, okay, wait a minute, why is this not more important than God? Why is this not more important than the church? That's when it'll become an issue. But intimidated, no. Because again, some might say that what I'm striving to do and what I'm striving to achieve is crazy and very, career oriented or high up there. So for me, it's like, nah, that doesn't faze me. What fazes me, are you committed to the family and are you committed to God?
Okay. We talked a little bit about spiritual attributes, what you're looking for in a partner. You've said she should be a person of prayer. She should be spiritually mature, growing, and developing a prayer partner, so to speak. One of you said she should even cover me in prayer. What if after you said, I do, in sickness and in health, for richer and for poor, until death do us part, and then you find out that you have different spiritual values? How important is it for you to have a woman that have the same spiritual values that you have?
Like Mike said, I believe that it's very important to watch before you say I do. Because as you watch someone, I believe that you learn some of their values, you learn some of their morals, so to speak, before you say I do. Because once you say I do, that's it. And if you find out that you have different spiritual beliefs or different spiritual values, that can be very confusing in the household. And confusion in the household is never good. So I believe that it's very important that you two meet on the same spiritual values, almost 10 for 10 or, 100%. Because confusion can cause divorce and arguments and all kind of strife in the household. So I believe that it's very important to agree on the same thing spiritually.
Do you think premarital counseling is important prior to saying I do?
Absolutely. I would love to know who I'm marrying, and I would want that person to love to know who they're marrying, because we all have past trauma, whether it's big or small. We all have something that we went through that has shaped our perspective, our experiences, our beliefs, our values. And I would love to know, is this going to impact us 10 years, 5 years, 2 months after we say I do? So, I think that counseling, if the woman didn't want to have counseling, that would just be red flags. It's like, are you hiding something? Or, so yeah, that's just my opinion.
Mike, what's your opinion on premarital counseling?
I would definitely agree. Like he said, I would like to know who I'm marrying and what I'm getting myself into, because this is a for life thing. Like, I want this to be a one-time thing. I don't want to, have to repeat or redo or, go through the whole process time and time again.
What about dating? The question comes up over and over again about dating. How long do you think it is dating should take place before going to the next level of engagement? How long do you want to date a young lady before you become engaged? Mike?
For me, honestly, I've seen it take years. We play by ear because, again, there's no rush. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to rush into something and regret that I rushed and live in regret and live in frustration that, man, I really made this choice too soon or too late.
Okay. Tyrone, let me throw the question to you. What do you think about dating? How long do you think it's reasonable to date before going into engagement?
I do think that everyone's different, that it's no set in stone time to say, hey, if we date this amount of time, that we'll be good to go. But I think a proper time will be a year and a half, 2 years, and that would allow me time to see you get angry. That'll allow me time to see you celebrate your happy moments. That would really allow me time to see who you are as a person off guard. Because we all, when we get around someone we like, we turn into this perfect person. Yeah. But after months and years go by, that guard gets let down. And now I get to see the true you, the person you are when no one's looking, or you think no one's looking. Mm-hmm. And that will tell me, all I need to know, or majority of what I need to know.
And how long would you want your engagement to last?
If I propose, then
tomorrow, the next day.
What you gotta do? What you gotta do?
Hey, I got the ring in my pocket.
Not the next day, but I don't think it needs to take another full year. Yeah. 9 months, like Mike said, 6 months. But just enough time to get settled in. Say, not too long. Not too long.
Well, guys, you know what? Our time is just about out, and I've got a whole lot of questions to ask you on this, not even on the script. But let's close out with a good one to leave something on the girls' minds, okay? You're dating, or you're engaged, you're out on a date, and it's just the two of you. What's okay to do, and what they say, just the two of us. What's okay? Holding hands, embracing, maybe a little kissing. What's okay?
I would say, well, first, I do believe in a chaperone. I do believe that it's necessary. So I'm not going to trick me there.
It wasn't a trick question. but good answer.
If we are alone, it's just us two. I do believe that, you're never too good. You're never too saved to where you can say, I can do this and nothing will happen. Okay. So holding hands is fine, but, that touch can just trigger all kind of emotions, Okay. So you really have to just watch the things that you do, and you should be very cautious and careful if you want to stay saved, if you want to please God at that moment. You want to be very careful with the things that you do, because just a little touch can turn into something else. But holding hands, I do see personally as harmless, not harmful, but going beyond that can turn into, other things.
So if the two of you are going out, you would definitely want to have a chaperone. You're saying you would definitely want to have a chaperone with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Mike, what's your take on that? Just the two of you are out there on a nice date, had a nice dinner, had a good time. What's permissible and what is just not acceptable?
Well, the Bible says, "A man can a man hold fire." but no, on a serious level, though, I agree with Tyrone. Like, for me, I would prefer to have a chaperone. I would prefer to have another couple that's there with us, just so nothing happens. Because again, although you may say you're saved and everything, you don't know what you're capable of in the heat of a moment. You don't know what can arise. You don't know. Like, say, you could be feeling one way, but she could have other things in mind. I mean, you see what happened to many men in the Bible where they thought, they had control, they could handle it. And all she had to do was say, hey, tell me where your strengths are, or hey,
So Mike, she says, hey, so we're going out on a date and we're bringing Deacon Richards along with us. She says, why? You don't trust me? How do you respond to that?
I'm going to say, so if they pull the "you don't trust me" card, oh Lord, I'm like, it's not that I don't trust you, I don't trust me.
Good answer. Good answer. Tyrone, you're going out on a date. You've got a date scheduled, and the girl that you're dating, you say, hey, we're going to go out, but we're bringing Pastor John with us. And she's like, I know you're not bringing your dad. Oh, yeah, he's coming along too. And she's going to say, I thought I was marrying a man, not a boy. You're going to bring your dad with you? Yeah. What's your response to that?
That is funny, but that's red flags right there for me, because as you talked about the spiritual values, I would hope the person that I am dating or courting wants someone there as well, because I would think that they want their relationship with God to be just as perfect as I want my relationship with God, knowing that if me and that person, with the emotions that we have, the feelings we have for each other, nothing good can come out of us wanting to be alone. I won't say nothing good, but having someone there is just that extra protection, and I would hope they would agree to that. So if they said something to that effect, then I would just say, explain to them why I think it's necessary, and if they don't want to do it or not, yeah, that'll be hard. But I'll say, hey,
would it be baby bye?
I'm sorry, say it
would it be baby bye? You're just the wrong one. You're not really concerned about our safety. Wrong one. Well, guys, this has been just really, really enjoyable. My guests have been Tyrone, Neil. Tyrone, tell us where you're from, what state you're from, what church you attend, and who your pastor is.
I'm from Maywood, Illinois originally, and right now I go to CTCM, Christ Temple of the Apostolic Faith International Ministries, and my pastor is Bishop Michael Bellamy.
And Mike, what about you? What state are you from? What church do you attend, and who's your pastor?
All right, so I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I go to Kingdom Reconciliation Outreach Ministries. My pastor is Pastor Timothy Curtin.
Fantastic. So any ladies, you don't have to find them. They'll find you. Okay. So no need of going to Facebook and messaging them or inboxing them. They believe in finding a wife. Well, friends, that's all the time that we have for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode as much as we have. It was produced by Elder Maurice Clanton Sr. Be safe, stay healthy, God bless.
I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.